Assange försvarsadvokat.
WikiLeaks grundare Julian Assange.
Och Julian Assange.
Julian Assange is rarely out of the headlines in Sweden. His every move reported by the media and watched by many of the 9 million people who live here. For almost 2 years, Sweden has been trying to bring Assange back to Stockholm to answer questions about alleged sex crimes, claims he denies. So far, though, Sweden has failed to get what it wants. Before those allegations surfaced back in 2010, Assange and Sweden were on good terms. He even chose to base the WikiLeaks server here. Julian Assange was viewed by many here as a pioneer, a courageous man fighting for press freedom. And while he still has his supporters, his popularity has certainly faded. Karin Olsson is the cultural editor of one of Sweden's biggest newspapers.
He kind of went from a hero to zero. He made friends here, he came here and visited, and he got help from a political party to move servers here. So it was a kind of a love affair with Sweden. And now 2 years later, the situation is totally turned around.
The WikiLeaks founder says he's willing to speak to Swedish investigators, but in London. His supporters say if he's extradited to Sweden, he could then end up being sent to the US to answer questions about the leaking of sensitive documents. But Sweden says no extradition request has been made by the US and Assange will be treated fairly.
We are party to some European conventions, and also in the Swedish system we don't extradite if there is a risk that the person in question is subjected to the capital punishment.
But Julian Assange's lawyer told me the risk of extradition to a second country is very real.
Swedes and Sweden and Swedish media look upon the case with Swedish eyes, and they are disappointed that he doesn't come here, and they minimize the risk of extradition to the United States and say there is no risk. But there they are wrong. There is a substantial risk which we only can avoid by seeking political asylum.
Julian Assange is waiting to learn of his fate. Sweden hopes to be part of it. Nyberg, Jazeera, Stockholm.